Namaskar, Adab, Sat Shri Akal. Well, this is the first episode of my series Why Photograph on Instagram. And what I really wanted to talk about here is the fact that we are all inspired by other photographers, and especially the more famous ones whose work is seen in exhibitions and photo books and other such things. We also, of course, in today's time get inspired by photographers whose work we see on social media, which could be stars, which could be our peer group, which could be people who we just follow. But what we tend to forget is that photographs are actually what influence us. What I mean is, photographers inspire us, but it's photographs that influence us. So let me explain that a bit more clearly. What I mean by photographs influencing us is that irrespective of which photographer might have shot that picture, if it's a photograph which really touches us, moves us, attracts us, it could be just a very physical, momentary thing, that there's something about the photograph, whether it's the content, the composition, the light, just the treatment, we respond to it before we even see whose photograph it is or who's created it. So there is that thing about how photographs influence us. And what I've been thinking a lot about my own journey in photography and the reasons why I shoot in a particular way, or why I am attracted to a particular kind of subject or subjects. And one of the things I realized when I look back right to the beginning of my own engagement with photography is that at home, in my house, in my parents' house really, there were these 2 or 3 photographs which were framed and kept on the mantelpiece, or the sideboard as they were called at that time. And these are literally photographs which I grew up with. And as you can see them on the screen, these are photographs of my parents when they first got married. And there is a certain way these have been done. They're obviously done in the studio. There's a certain approach to lighting. There's a certain approach to composition, to the chemistry between the two people, to the mood which has been created. And it's not that I used to stand there and stare at these photographs, or just maybe I wasn't even aware of them, after a while. But they, in a way, became my way of seeing how photography, as far as portraiture is concerned, ought to be done. And this is something which I've realized much later as I got more and more into portrait photography on my own, that somewhere that memory, that influence has constantly been there and has, in a way, made me look at portraiture, look at my subjects, look at my lighting in a particular way. And there is that stamp of what those photographs were in the photographs are done, which is not to in any way suggest that I take photographs which are as good as this, but definitely there is that jhalak of that influence of these photographs in my own work. So maybe you find this interesting, and you might want to look at, I'm sure you look at photographers who inspire you, but within that, maybe look at actual photographs they've taken or other people have taken, which you feel have influenced you, which, whether it's in terms of composition, whether it's in terms of subjects, treatment, light, whatever, the various ways in which we use the grammar of photography. Look for the influences in photographs which have, in a way, made you look at photography, made you approach photography in a certain way. I think it would be a very interesting exercise. Think about it, try it, and if you do find certain photographs which you think have influenced you, send them to me. I'd love to take a look at them. And maybe in one of the episodes later, we can actually do a talk and discuss those. Thank you very much, and see you again soon.